22. I ain't getting along with my baby lately. Hey, my only son, rock and roll and kill your mom with me. Out, in and out, easy.
That one's fantastic.
That's the when you know that I actually started writing a whole thing to 1979. 1922 and kill your mom. But I just ran out of time. I'm very tired. I was like, that's easy. Just punch in, punch out, kill your mom.
It's like a sonic. It's like it sounds good. Like I would say that song sounds good, but it's not a memorable melody that makes
the vocal part is not why. Yeah. Right.
It's the guitar part, and you can't write a guitar part about killing your wife.
Toxic masculinity.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So, Kings of King. Oh, I guess I spoiled the guess. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's Abe.
It's me, Abe. Wait, did you just say call me your guest?
No, I said Kings of. I said we're the kings, and then I spoiled your guessing game. I said I'm sorry, I spoiled your guessing game.
Guess.
Now things feel.
I'm sorry,
really hostile and weird though. Feel it's really weird.
Like, you want to do stuff that I don't want to do.
I'm sorry.
That makes me angry and maybe plot to murder you. It's 1922.
Masterfully done.
From 2017, not to be confused of 1917 from 2019.
2019. yeah.
This is indeed
from 2019. Okay.
From the novella, or it's from the novella 1922, adaptation, originally published.
Based on the novel Blade Runner 1945.
45.
Published in 91.
This is from Stephen King's collection, Full Dark, No Stars. That's right.
It's really nice when an author rates their own book. They're like, you know, the book was called Full Dark, but he's like, by the way, this one was not my best.
0-star review.
He's honest, you know. He has that confidence that he can be honest at this point in his career.
Yeah, I also really like the movie Fault with our 5 stars.
With big naturals.
It's like, got cancer, 5 stars. Mm-hmm. So this one is a little bit like a Dolores Claiborne, huh?
Yes.
A little bit.
Oh, yeah. If we're doing, are we Rolodexing Kingisms? Because that's something we do on this show sometimes.
I didn't. But I was just kind of setting up the idea that it's about the horrors of an old timey marriage of Americans. A little bit Macbeth. You know, it's a classic call from Macbeth, but that's what it's about.
Well, and truly, like if you're aware of a good example I always go to is the rule of thumb. Now, some people have told me this is apocryphal, but my understanding. And now it's impossible to know because I look it up and some websites support me and some websites deny it and AI does not help. But a thing I had learned it cracked as true as like, unknown history that is actually true is like the rule of thumb was you could beat your wife with nothing wider than your thumb or not leave a mark as wide as your thumb.
I've also heard that.
How country judges would generally determine if it was like, whoa, you can't beat her that much. That's wider than my thumb. The divorce is allowed versus, you can hit her a bit. Like we all got to hit our ladies a bit, you know?
Yeah.
So it is the true horror of, or another.
So they don't divorce us.
I love diving into horror like that. Or I actually forget what stand-up, I'm sorry, but a black male comedian who said like, if someone appeared in a time machine and like, let's go, I'd be like, well, anything before 1989, no. It's like, that's a unique white privilege that you can be like, spin the dial. I want to see history. And it's like, a lot of people walking this earth are like, I don't want to see history. No.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one has done the sketch of like Black Bill and Ted.
Like just having a real bad time. Sounds like a Key and Peele thing. For sure. Yeah,
seems like a Key and Peele. Yeah. This also, do you remember I made a thing back in the day based off a Stephen Crane novella called Illusion in Red and White?
Yeah, I have it in my notes, of course.
This is also, if you're a Crane head, this is kind of like that too. Although the son is older and is involved in the murder as opposed to being gaslighting to like young kids.
If you're a Crane head, I'm listening. But also, yeah, just I guess
Toss
since we're
salad.
mentioning it, I'll mention it now. Toss out scrambled eggs. Moving on. Fun fact: he sang that himself, and then you can't unhear it. You go, "Holy shit, that is Kelsey Grammer's voice."
That is Kelsey Grammer,
wailing
and
the
also-
blues. Also, it's not bad, which embarrasses you, the listener.
And also they use that as the basis of how you could or couldn't beat your wife.
That's right. Wait. Toss salad. Oh, that's okay. And scrambled eggs, sir. Where has chivalry gone?
To the stocks
This
with
is going to
you.
be a good one. But regardless, a pal of the network, in case he ever chances upon this, just much love to John Conway, friend, roommate,
Oh, yeah. Director extraordinaire.
who did, I think, call it in terms of part of his interest in that story and adapting that story was that gaslighting is going to be real big in the coming decades. And he was not wrong about that.
He was not wrong about that.
Yeah, that it's resonant, very, very resonant. So shall we dive into the dome?
Under the dome.
Our best guess puts the dome at 20,000 feet, sir.
Did he just call it a dome?
You think we might be stuck in here a
And
while?
where are we then? Well, we're in it now, right? So we're in.
The sound played, so yeah.
Great, we're in the dome
We're under the dome.
with Alma Garrett from. Wait, or is this? No, that's Skeleton Crew. Okay, my notes are out of order. No, this is
But
where
you're
we
correct.
say what
I'll be
happened.
calling her Molly Parker throughout all of this.
I mean, I
Which is
know
the
her
actor's
name
name.
out of respect, but I did want to shout out the Deadwood Connect. I
Dude,
do know her name. I
She's
didn't
so
mean to
good.
throw
She
dirt.
kills it every time. And of course, TV's Tom Jane.
Hey, I don't want to disrespect. She has rat powers. I don't want her coming after me. So let's dive into it. For people who haven't seen 1922, it takes place in Hemingford Home, Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, around those parts. So it concerns a separate plot of land in Omaha as the inciting incident. But it's basically a big farm and a picturesque cornfield. Tom Jane, as the titular 1922, lives there with his son. Tragically, there's no treatment for tetanus in this era, so his jaw is wired shut, which makes his performance good. Her son, I'm this guy from 1922, see?
A little bit of Sling Blade.
A bit of Sling Blade, and a bit of the old, I'm a man, I can do what I want with my land. It's 1922 vibe.
Yeah, the quiet
yeah.
suffering of the silent generation.
And intercut with, like, I've been raised to believe that my wife is my property, my land is my property, my son is my future, and I don't talk about my feelings. So I really have nowhere to turn, not to paint him as a victim, because he's certainly not, but I do like that they at least give him the sort of sensible, you see where it's coming from. It's, the culture sucked, but the culture is, as he even says, sorry, I should have mentioned, this is intercut with him writing a confessional note in the future.
There is a framing device.
So he'll live and he regrets
He's
what's
gonna
about to
confess to
happen.
something.
Right. So we get in that VO that is the note, him talking about how, look at it on paper, right? And it's 1922. My pride is my son and my land. And I have this wife who, interesting given our current political climate, she wants to move to the city, and the city scares me because I'm a fundamentalist Christian. Certainly would be MAGA coded if it were modern day, but it's not, so he's not. But he's like, I'm a son of the soil. That's where the devils live. Like, you don't go to the city. And her whole thing is, now that my dad died, we have some extra land coming to us. Let's sell both plots, move to the city, open a dress shop. Obvious, it's like a Bridges of Madison County situation, if you've seen that. She wants a different life. And because it's 1922, he's like, no, and that's the end of it. And you're just lucky I don't beat your ass. And she's like, oh, and they have a son, of course, as we mentioned. And she's like, well, then how about we just get divorced and split the money? And then in his mind, in voiceover, he's like, how about I murder you? Because it's the country and no one will even ask questions, man. Like, that's how it goes out here, is the sort of thing he tells us, the audience. Yeah.
That line.
Like,
he
that's
says,
when I resolved to murder my wife.
So the line actually is, so what's keeping me away from her plan? I guess I just grown to hate her, which I love.
I got just sick of
as
her.
a story thing because it's completely out of spite. Like, he hates her so much, he's forcing her into a loveless marriage from the things that she wants out of life so that he can farm, even though it's like, yeah, it's a part of my identity, but it's not that I can't live in Omaha.
No, but it's more
that I don't want her
also,
to.
if I adapted, then my son would grow up different than me, is the implication.
Yeah.
He's supposed to inherit my land and do the same thing that I did and my dad did. That's what we
do.
are. And I'm proud of it. And she goes like, that's dumb. Who gives a shit about that? And he's like, I'm going to murder this bitch. I hate her. And I know I can get away with it because it's 1922 is a part of the horror, right? That is the point.
All while she's seaming her red dress as just an iconography of
just
like
Pratt working on a
red,
dress that will never be finished. Get it? Yeah.
It's like she wants to be a flapper.
So he slowly but surely, Abe, I hear the gumshoe. You want to take over? He starts leaning on his son. Hey, we might have to murder your mom. Like, and I'm just joking. But
he
how
goes
would you
work.
feel about that?
He goes to work on
Obviously, I
on
don't
the
mean
son, who has off screen fallen in love with the neighboring farmer's daughter. So he doesn't actually want to leave. And you get the sense that he kind of just listens to his dad most of the time or respects the hell out of his dad.
Or the primacy of the man, for sure.
I just wanted to step back and just say, like, one thing I think this movie does really well is that it throws you into like their relationships, doesn't give you a lot of new information. And just by the way of them being, you can extrapolate a lot. Like, for example, I really like how you at the beginning of the film, the first 2 or 3 scenes, don't even really realize that their marriage is dead. Like, they're not overtly mean to each other. They're just having, familial arguments. They're not going out of their way of doing anything. It's all internal, all the hatred.
And they're stoic in that way that like, oh, they could just be a standard marriage of the 20s where they don't express emotion. And then he cuts inside his head and he's like, I hate her so much.
Yeah, it's a lot of narrative work being done there. But in any case, we never really get the straight in the same way for the plot of the murder as the montage starts. We don't really get the strategies or plot for the murder. We kind of infer that that's what they're going to do because they just talk around it. Like, if she went to Omaha, she'd be digging a deeper pit. You'd have to learn city ways, Henry. It's like, here are the reasons
she definitely
why
won't let you be in love with that chick. Also, he escalates to, well, if she falls into sin, that her soul will go to hell. Then you'll grow up a city boy and your soul will go to hell. So really, it's like a mercy to kill her and all this kind of shit.
Exactly. Yeah. At a family dinner, Henry, the son, expresses that his mother should be less adversarial in general, which she is, but no more so than the facts that are on the table, essentially. But it's the only expression that we ever get by the family, by any family member, that he's like, don't be adversarial because I just want to be a family again. The other two are over it, but he is still 15 and wishes that they weren't like this. So he's a victim to it. And she snaps back that the decision's final. She's going to Omaha and starting a dress shop. And Henry's coming with her. I don't give a fuck if Tom Jane wants to sit around and farm all his life. He can do that with his 50% of the money.
I'm going to file for divorce if that embarrasses you. Tough shit. Yeah.
So we get a montage of them kind of talking, but not like you don't hear their words and you're like, oh, they're planning the murder. And Tom Jane comes up to Molly Parker and is like, well, Henry convinced me. All work as a mechanic in Omaha. I give up. Let's go. Molly Parker's super happy, is kind of performatively kind to them both, is just like, oh, this is the greatest. We're going to live in Omaha. You don't even understand how great it's going to be. And she gets hammered. And there's a great line that really shows the passive aggressiveness of at least for Henry. Just make sure, and she's just drunk when she's saying this, just make sure that when you're lying down with her in the corner behind the barn that you're a no poke. Explore all you like and rub it with your Johnny Mac until he feels good and spits up. But but you stay out of the home place unless you get locked in like your mummer and daddy. It's just wonderful language. Way to go, Stephen King. And then after she's gotten drunk and passed out, it's a messy death. Henry covers her face with a bag and she struggles, making it hard for Tom Jane to slice her throat. In fact, he needs like 3 tries.
Yeah, I know. She's so obstructionist. Like even this she has to be a bitch about and make it hard, right? God, women.
And then they throw her in the dry well next to the house. And then they cover up the murder as you would do, clean the blood stains. Tom Jane throws a suitcase of some of her belongings into the well as well. to kind of make it seem like she absconded. And we see that rats have begun to eat her face at the bottom of the dry well. Sometime later, a lawyer from the livestock company that Molly Parker had been speaking to, the people that are looking to buy the farm, they arrive, and he's a fancy boy who's bothered by communal water, etc. And after telling the story of his wife absconding at midnight, the lawyer he's like, I find it's very strange indeed. And he tries to look into the house, but the son is like, no. What my dad's saying is true. She left and all that stuff. And it's going actually very well for the first meeting, dropping little hints, acting normal.
What do you mean in terms of getting away with it? Sure.
Yeah, it seems like that.
You're talking about the guy who clearly went to the barber and was like, comb my hair such that I look like a penis, right? That guy? Yeah, he's a good guy.
As a cover up for the well, so they're thinking in advance. I love that this is like dumb people's smart thoughts.
This is where you're like, this is unforced errors. This is like pain and gain, where you're like, you got away with it, dude. Stop there, you dummy.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can just figure it out. To cover up the well itself, because someone could open up the well and see
theory
her dead
someday,
body
right? Yeah.
They decide to drop a cow into the well, like.
He's like, to fill it in, and then he's like, well, what if someone asks, why did you fill in that well? Here's what we'll do. Like, this is too convoluted, bro.
A cow got out.
We'll kill the cow for the rest of our lives. We'll tell this story. Yeah.
Anyway, they covered dirt. It's gone now. Cow.
Even when the sheriff comes by and you get your second, like, will they get away with it scene, which you know they will because he's writing a confession. It's very much almost like watching an episode of Cops 1922. The sheriff's like, all right, sounds good. And he's like, that cock-shaped guy doesn't know what he's talking about, that city penis. And he's like, yeah, I believe you. I'm a sheriff who's known you your whole life, so I believe you. He's like, my wife run off.
Checks out.
She R-U-N-N-O-F-T. And he's like, that makes sense. And then he goes, and our well, you wouldn't believe it, this cow. And the sheriff's like, I gotta go, man. There's some shit I gotta get to. And he goes, you don't want to see the cow? Like, come on back, sheriff. You gotta see this cow well situation and maybe write it down, take a picture of it.
Yeah,
the
so we
sheriff's
can
like,
see
what? You're acting weird now.
They're a little less in control, you know?
Yeah, I just love that scene.
That scene is great. Next scene is that Shannon, the girlfriend of Henry, the neighbor's farmer's daughter, who they're in love with. Or
the son's reason for wanting to stay nominally.
Yeah. So basically, Shannon mentions to Tom Jane that Henry's been real moody and distant and almost like mom killy recently. What's up with that? And he covers for her, and then Henry later has to reassure his dad, look, I won't say shit. And that's, to me, the sign of like, there's off-screen abuse here now. I mean, obviously, it's all abuse because they killed their mother and they have to hide it. And he has clearly been off-screen coaching, like, you can't say this, can't say this, can't say this. And obviously, Henry's terrified and he's falling apart. But he's like, no, Dad, don't worry. I got you. We're in it to win it, baby. And then we get the first instance of like kind of something supernatural or implying madness. He finds a mouse eating a cow's udder and he tries to kill it. And he also sees his wife's like visage instead of his boy in the middle of the dark when his boy's like, what are you doing, Dad?
And so around about the same time, you cut back to the present and he's just scratching away with his pen at the letter that he's writing, and then the scratching becomes the sound of scratching in the walls, and he pauses and it's like, are those fucking rats? And then it goes quiet and he goes back to writing. So, you know, the composer of the film is like, now ghosts are entering the story.
Right.
Vengeance,
but it's all
ghosts.
It's all reasonable ghosts, not like you can interpret them as real. You can,
or someone could say you're crazy or you're just guilt ridden for sure. Yeah,
specters of your mind. Anyway, I think the next beat is that Henry knocks up Shannon off screen, but do you want to take over?
Sure. And she's only they're both, I believe, 15 at the time. Yeah. And he's like, well, this derails our perfect plan that I had for your life, but you know, we'll figure it out. And basically he starts, I believe, hatching another sort of coercible scheme, which is like, all right, here's what's going to happen. We're going to do this and this. This will take care of it. Like, we'll appease the dad in this way. You know, I forget if he throws out the possibility of abortion or whatever, but whatever. He starts concocting a scheme, and we just see for the first time Henry go, no, we're not going to do that. No, we're not doing that. And then starts to say, you know, if mom were alive, she would have fixed this. And he goes, excuse me? And he's like, we should have done mom's plan with the getting the money and moving to the city. I could just be married to Shannon in the city. We'd have enough money to take care of the baby. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Or, you know, like, none of that happened. You're not supposed to be talking like this. What are you doing? Like, no, shut your fucking maw or whatever. And then just about that time, Shannon's dad, the neighbor Harlan, comes over and is like, we better talk about this. My daughter's knocked up situation. I'm mad, of course, but I just want to like talk to you man to man. And I love it cuts inside Tom Jane's head and he goes, and in that moment, I hated him. And you're like, oh, you're going to kill him now? Or like, it's like, of course, that's your only solution, right? Like you can't figure. But he does a little inner monologue about why he hates Harlan and how he knows. He owns that it's jealousy. He's like, I hate him because of his nice wife and his blue Cadillac and his farm that's like an acre bigger than mine or whatever.
His indoor plumbing.
Yeah. And he's like, so fuck him too. So like I spite him and I don't want him to succeed. Yeah. And he tells, I'm forgetting if the son, I forget who says they should do it, but the son is like, we should run away. I should run away.
Henry wants to run off with her instead of the orphanage idea.
Make my way in the world. Yeah. And again, he's like, no, you live on the farm and inherit the farm at all costs.
And also you have no money and she's 5 months pregnant.
Right.
You are not going to do
fools.
well.
But like, doesn't matter what, like, happens, we'll take care of your kid and you'll inherit the farm. Like, it's not fucked. The pig's still good. It's still good. Then I believe he ransacks the house thinking that, which is a key point in the life of a gaslighter. He says in his own mind, I know that I told the sheriff she hid a bunch of, because the sheriff at one point is like, well, how could she run away? She's your wife. Women aren't supposed to have money. We're Ferengi. Right. And he's like, well, she had a secret cache of money that she stowed away. Yeah. And then in his head, a very fascinating turn, I think, he's like, I just started to think maybe that's true. Maybe she does have secret money. So he rips apart the house to try to substantiate his own lie that he knows is a lie. Can't find any money, which forces him to the bank, which he knows. He's like, this is a bad road. You shouldn't owe money to the bank, but I don't know what to do.
I think he did find some money because if you know
in the flour, he finds like $40. Yeah,
exactly.
Basically, Harlan says, look, if you write me a check for $75, I won't like pursue a beef or humiliate you in the community or anything. We can just call that done and still be neighbors and try to work through this. And he goes like, and we can't just do that with nothing. And he's like, no, you owe me $75. That's
because the orphanage.
Yeah. For like the fees for the Catholic girls' school he's going to send her to.
It's an orphanage. So the idea here is that instead of abortions, you go and you get, if you're pregnant, you go and you have your baby. They take your baby. They send you back, but you have to.
They send the baby to an adoption agency. Yeah. They say, like back home, you say, what? No, none of that ever happened. She was just in boarding school with the nuns for a year. And everyone is like, that's an open secret in our community. We all accept. Again, the toxic setup of the culture at the time. Mm-hmm. So Henry goes, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to run away. He goes, no, you are going to do that, but I need $75 to keep this all on the rails. So he goes to the bank to get a loan for just $35 and does a little monologue about how you never take more from the bank than you can, right? Because the bank is the devil and then you're fucked. Like that's when you know it's the end.
Cities, the devils.
Yeah. But unfortunately, when he steps out of the bank, he finds that the son is gone and has left a note saying, I left. Like too bad. Yeah. I took the car and left with Shannon. T. So he lives there alone with his dead wife and his no son and is buried well. And his rats get worse and worse and he gets more and more guilty and he can't upkeep the house as well. Winter comes and he realizes that he needs something to distract him from the guilt and there's no time to it's winter, so you don't plant. So he's like, I took out a huge $700 loan from the bank to put the money back into the house. So he's like, I'm going to do all this shit, right? That'll keep me busy and the horrible thoughts from swirling. I will fix the roof and fix the cellar and blah, blah, blah. But all that happens is he drinks it up. He gets bitten by a rat. It gets infected, so he can't work. So now his house is dilapidated. He owes money to the bank that he can never make back. His whole dream is shattered. His future's gone, right?
He tries to get to a hospital, presumably, by using his tractor, but the tractor won't turn on.
So he just lets it get worse and worse, and sort of doesn't give a shit about his life falling apart. Eventually, the sheriff comes and says, they found the body of a woman in a ditch, right? Or is this?
Yeah, he
or
saves
does the
him
ghost come
from
first?
dying from sepsis, and his hand is amputated.
Yeah.
And while the sheriff kind of meets him in the hospital, he's like, by the way, we found like an unrecognizable woman
in a ditch in the side of the road, missing teeth that Alma was missing. I'm sorry, that Molly Parker was missing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he gets visited by the actual disfigured, throat slit, pallid ghost of his dead wife. And she whispers into his ear, here's what's going to happen, okay? No, I'll tell you what's going to happen. And he goes, no, don't tell me, ghost of future past. I don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, no, you're going to fucking listen. Now,
I love this line, by the way.
She
whispered secrets to me only a dead woman would know.
She's like, worms are actually very nice when you get to know them, and they rip their hair up but not out. No, she says, your son tries to make a go of it with Shannon. They're desperate for money for medical care. And because he's already murdered his own mother, he's like, why not rob a bank? So they become the sweetheart bandits and they go on a bank robbing spree, but only for a couple weeks because they're not good at it, until she gets shot by a stray bullet from some Stephen Root, like, a bank teller who fights back.
Yeah.
And, she bleeds out in the fucking snow and a dirty mattress, and your son weeps over her body as she goes, I can feel the baby dying inside me. Yeah. Then she dies. Then he lies down next to her and shoots himself in the head, cursing your name. And he goes to the ghost, Tom Jane, look, just kill me, ghost. Yeah. And she's like, no. And
I'm not done with you.
Yeah. And
which I think is important in terms of thematics.
So he doesn't have the guts to kill himself or whatever. So he lives a few more years, presumably. We find out just in a brief monologue that like he sold his land. It's all that he has left. He went to his neighbor friend and is like, can you help me somehow? Or could we be friends? Like we could still work out some deal. And that guy's like, just leave me alone and never come back here. Yeah. And his life is also ruined. Yeah.
Your wife ran away and died. And
our
children died, and then my wife left me. We're basically cursed. I don't want to.
Who cares? Like, I'm drinking myself to death. Why don't you go do that? And I forgot to mention, the ghost prediction is confirmed, meaning the kids' dead bodies turn up. They have funerals for the kids. He makes note of the fact that no one comes to his son's funeral except him. His curse, like everything in his life is ruined and taken away, including his pride, his lineage. They will be forgotten and driven down into dust. We cut back to him writing his confession. I think the last thing he does in the world is he reads through the newspaper and he visits all the banks that they robbed. And he just asks the teller, like, hey, when those bank robbers came in here, like, did they mention me?
He's just like, that was my son.
Like, could you tell me anything
that's his legacy
about him? Basically. Was he cool? And she's like, no, he was a bank robber. I'm glad he's dead or whatever. And he's legacy. Like, okay. And then it shows some memory of the past where he goes like, I love you, son. You're all that matters to me. And Henry goes, I love you too, Pa, or whatever. Cut back to the present. Rats crawl through the walls. They open a big hole in the wall. Zombie son, Shannon, and mom all come out and go, we gonna murder you now, Pa? And he goes, okay, fucking finally, bring it on, dude. That's sad.
They're like,
he says it'll be quick.
It doesn't hurt none. The only thing that you missed that I think is relevant is that after after like he's freezing to death and the rats are all there, he has another cow that's been living in there with him because I assume winter and the barn's dilapidated.
It's just his last piece of property.
And when he comes back from visiting Harlan, who's the father of Shannon, after their conversation, he has to shoot. It gets out. The cow gets out and freezes to death, and he has to. So Tom Jane shoots 2 cows in this movie. Is my point. And then after that, immediately he sells the farm to the livestock company, as you mentioned, for an insanely low price because like it's worthless at this point.
So the thing Molly Parker wanted them to do in the beginning, he literally sells it to that exact consortium because he's forced to. Yeah.
In Omaha. Because he can't get a job
working is like
else.
Dragging wood from one place to another place. He is a cow.
And I love that at work because, of course, factories would have this. There's rats everywhere. So he's haunted by the rats even at work and at home.
And he'll be like, do you see those rats? And they're like, yeah, who cares? They're rats. And he's like, well, that's my guilt. And they're like, well, that's your problem. All this wood over there. Yeah. You know, it's very Lovecraft. Like, I regret everything I've ever done. Please kill me. The end.
And I love all of the sequences. They really feel like Telltale Heart. You know, it's all like what's behind the floorboards.
Absolutely, Telltale Heart and Lovecraft more than I think King is quite intentionally doing. I want to do a Telltale Heart Lovecraft riff. I haven't done that. So, and yet, as you mentioned, it also has a core that is so clearly, but at heart, the ABC of it is Dolores Claiborne. I'll just do it.
Yes,
something I'm comfortable with. I do want to ask you before we get out of the plot. The only thing I didn't understand was the body being found on the side of the road. Was that his wife's body?
I assume. No.
Or was that a hint that she has risen from the grave and walked?
Because they made the sheriff says like, we noticed also that like 2 of her back teeth were gone.
Yeah.
Like from an old wound or something like that. She had them pulled before. Do you know if your wife had done it? And it gives him the room to just respond in a grieving way that the sheriff's like, oh, okay. Yeah. So it sounds like
you're saying he just said that to close the loop. I see. Okay,
it's to close the loop.
It's somewhat
that you can get away with murder.
I actually think that's amazing.
To torture you
because that implies another missing woman unaccounted for by the system. Right? Who's that woman who came to an unfortunate end in the ditch?
That was my.
That's got to be the intent, which is really cool. Actually, yeah.
I think that's good, especially because
supernaturally, I'm like, so she crawled out of the well and walked a few miles and died. No, again?
I don't think
it wasn't.
I think the premier read of this is there's no supernatural at all. It's all just.
It's just it sucked to be a woman in 1922 in Omaha. Yeah, really, really.
And
good.
if you do murders, you get tortured and go to prison.
That's where we need to get into it. So let's get into it by way of telling you about things only a dead woman could know. What those skeletons are up to in a segment called Skeleton Crew.
Something in the mist! Shut the doors! Shut the doors!
As mentioned, this will be a quick one because a big let this mean to your ears whatever it means, dear listener. I know what it means to me. But this is a very Netflix movie. Highly competent, but in certain ways that I'll unpack just a little more, conservative and safe. Very clean, very transparent, very clear. So clear that if you're watching it while you're also cooking dinner for your kids, you can still follow the plot. And there's like things done in order to make that true that annoy me. But as a result, I'm just saying, it feels like a really smooth pro production. There's not a lot of trivia or behind the scenes, not a lot of actors in it. They all just punched in and punched out. But as we mentioned, it's Tom Jane from Arrested Development. You know, Tom Jane. And
TV's Tom Jane.
And Molly Parker from Deadwood.
TV's Molly Parker.
And I love a movie with so little IMDb trivia that I have to give you this arc of trivia. Because, you know, on IMDb, people rate whether trivia was helpful or not. The most positively charged piece of trivia about this film, with 39 helpful votes and only 4 no, I didn't like this votes. Stephen King himself expressed he was satisfied with this adaptation, stating he was, quote, delighted by the film. People were like, I'm glad I know that. That enriches my reading of this.
That's a heater, dude.
Now, here's the mid, right? Because 86 people liked this, but 32 people disliked it. So it's a little controversial. based on the Stephen King novella 1922, originally published in 2010. I like that 32 people were like, you dare waste my time telling me that. But 86 people were like, no, we need to know that. We need to know that. What are we, 100 years from now?
There's got to be something there where they're like, it didn't come out in 2010.
And then
I read it
this.
in 2011.
With 7 upvotes, but 57 downvotes. Everyone's like, that is not what this is for. That is not what IMDb trivia is for. Neil McDonough, who plays the character Harlan, also plays a character named Harlan in the TV show Altered Carbon, although in that show, Harlan is the character's last name.
And they are right about that. That is a bad
That's
trivia.
not trivia.
That's not trivia.
But I would
that
argue
should get right out of
no,
here.
but neither is. Stephen King himself said, I was delighted with this film. I guess
It's
it
kind of
technically
relevant.
is, but it's trying so hard to be irrelevant. It
It really is weak.
trivia.
They're both weak.
They're all weak.
One is way weaker than the other. I would say that the Stephen King one at least has the relevance of he typically comes
thumbs
out,
up or thumbs down.
he
from
says something
Stephen.
about every
Yeah.
one of his films. So like if someone wants, like, did he actually like that one too? Wants to do a quick search, it might be helpful. But what number of the population is actually doing that? What are we doing this for?
Well, do you have anything to add, or should we just move on? Because I'm saying,
I have a few things.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, great. Go
I
for
found
it.
some recent. I found some stuff,
Okay.
or at least
Okay.
there's some stuff
Here
I
we
want to
go.
talk about.
this is the
specifically
Doctor Movies goodness.
Well, I just like the 5 million. You touched on the low budget and the like streamlinedness of it all. This is how you do a $5 million budget, man.
Very
Small
smart.
cast,
Yeah.
low locations with repeat scenes, not a lot of production design, and not a lot of special effects for your horrors thing. Only short sites of like towns or bigger locations that are harder to lock down. They're also done in montage. And that's what I thought that, like, if you were to watch this while doing your dishes, that's what you miss out of this film is the montages are excellent in my mind, like some top tier montages, because they help you so much with the budget. Like, first off, they're evocative, I think, but a lot of the budget you can tell is going into these segments where they're like, we can't even get this. Like, we couldn't shoot a scene here. You know, like this is a one shot, that shot right
and
there
tons of
the
shots
space.
of the infinite cornfield are,
Yeah.
if you have a trained eye, you're like, that's a matted green screen shot. But you are
Right.
also in the same thought, usually like, well done, though. It's a good looking.
Super
So
well
they
done.
clearly took like the cheap road, but everyone involved is a pro. It's very slick.
Knew what
Yeah.
how to do that. And actually about the corn, to talk about the budget a little bit, I thought it was interesting. So when you're a filmmaker and you're like, okay, you got all this stuff, you're doing all the smart reasons, but you're like, in order to do this, it's got to be Nebraska, and he's a corn farmer, and you're shooting in Vancouver for tax reasons. What do? How do you sell that? That's a huge problem. And they solved it, and they did it two ways. One, the one you mentioned, they CG'd larger shots of corn. The other one is that I find this funny. They got corn props from China. I don't even know what that means, but apparently there's a huge corn crops in China. It's a little different from how Interstellar did it.
Are you saying prop crops or real crops?
prop crops?
They got crop corn. It's
crop
hard
corn.
to say.
But like
crop corn.
just to see it on the other side where you're like shooting a 200 million instead of a $5 million budget.
Hey, can you
Interstellar-
prop that crop corn by that mop? Sorry. Okay, I'm done.
It's popping, dude.
It's popping. Corn.
Like at Interstellar, they built a cornfield and just raised it.
And shot there. But
And
that's
shot
but they're
there
like, how much
months
does that
later.
cost? Who cares?
And
I
then
am
they turned
Chris
a profit on
Nolan.
the corn. Isn't
Yeah,
that
yeah.
insane? The rich get richer is my point. Anyway,
Jeremy Renner, if you look into it, has made way more money flipping corn than he ever has acting.
so the only last thing I wanted to talk about is just because this thing really does tickle my, indie
Pickle.
filmmaker
You can say
vibe.
it.
Yeah, it tickles my pickle. And my pickle is that Zach Hilditch, the director of this, who's a fairly no name, like in terms of like, I had not heard anything about this movie. I haven't seen any of his other films. Apparently in 2013, he did something called These Final Hours, which did pretty well, gave him the ability to shoot this. But he just wrote a spec script without knowing that he'd get the rights to it. And then he had a producer friend who pitched it to Netflix, and then they bought it and Netflix made it all happen. So low enough budget, I guess spec scripts are still a thing to do in 2017. I don't know if that's still true in 2025. We haven't had luck with it, but it made me think about all those thoughts. And this is a very inspiring film for youthful and upcoming aspiring filmmakers. But I'm happy to move into the section that you clearly are jonesing for, my man.
Yep. Here we
Yes?
go. Keeping up with the Joneses. No, IT. The IT crowd.
Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float
Still
too.
need to watch that. I've heard good things.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to it either.
Okay.
I don't love the network comedies, but I'm sure there's very.
I
good shows.
love a network comedy when it's good and it's rare, and it's usually on Fox.
I love
me.
Matt Berry. I love Richard Ayoade. Like a lot of those people are very
I
funny.
don't mean that as brand loyalty. I'm just rewatching Malcolm in the Middle, and I'm like, man, and Simpsons, of course. And I'm like, oh, Fox really had the sharpest sitcom writing. I guess I just find NBC sitcoms repellent. Is what it.
Yes,
I'm
that's
getting
more
to.
of the network.
I'm like
'Cause
that to me is dad joke central.
No, Fox, even though it is, you're right. Fox has, like, it had Arrested Development, it had a bunch.
They're destroying our society, the other wing of it or whatever, but whatever. Also want to say, yeah, I think this movie was hurt by, and this can kick off it, where we just talk about our thoughts, our thoughts. Tom Jane's Nebraska accent, three things. I'm really glad. I do respect Tom Jane. I don't think he is again, interesting. And this is everything about this production, I would say, is like a line drive to center field, meaning Tom Jane always does a good job. He never does such a brilliant job where I'm like, his choices are so unique or that's so revealing. He's always good, very good. Tom Jane's a good actor. And similarly, in this, he does a Nebraska accent, and he does it in the way I was taught to do it, where he probably picked the guy's teeth because he's like, this guy's like a rat, right? And rats lead with their front teeth. I can imagine this whole thought process because I went to theater school, and this is how you are trained to think. So this guy should talk through his teeth, and he should move like this, right? And the guiltier he gets, the more his jaw's wired shut. And all of that is cool, and especially good in theatrical context, and makes him interesting. I think it is funny and kind of directorial weakness that no one around him, sheriff doesn't act like a cartoon Nebraska guy, wife doesn't talk like that, son doesn't talk
Even
like
his
that,
neighbor
Shannon
who's a
doesn't talk
farmer.
like that, his own neighbor who is supposed to reflect him. No one's talking like this but Tom Jane. And it's just like, dude, they got to have your back, or I do think it comes off as like, why is only he? What's going on?
One guy.
Yeah. And
That's
yet,
fair.
his accent's good. It's consistent and good. I just thought it was weird how he couldn't get anyone else in the cast to like play
To
along with him. Yeah.
Do his little mumble.
Yeah.
No, totally.
Well, how'd you, other than that, like Tom Jane as our quiet lead? What are your thoughts? Our guilt-ridden.
It's like an assignment, and it's a really good one. The one that I was really taken aback by, or was like, all right, so if there's one thing that Tom Jane's doing spectacularly, it's this. The subtlety of his grief, because he's obviously a monster. But like, so is William H. Macy in Fargo. It's like, things are fine, nothing's fucked, dude. But we get the sense that he's clearly being performative in a lot of instances, but in other instances he's not. And I feel like I could write down all those moments where it's like, there's actual grief there. Like, he's grieving, actually, especially when it comes to his son. So I thought that was pretty good. He's just a guy whose pride and his hatred never really surface.
And I love the idea that the pride as a fatal downfall is so. It reminded me of when in The Wire, how satisfying it is when you realize that Stringer Bell has been outmaneuvered. A lot of people I know who love The Wire talk about this moment where it's not even a twist, but it didn't occur to you that character, because of his hierarchy in the chess of the story that's unfolding, could be, and all they have to do is pull out and go like, the world can crush anyone. And that can be a very sobering, good revelation in a story like this. And it does it so well with the episode. Like, we're so restrained and so focused on his land, down to the shot selection. It's like his plot of land is a world unto itself. That's why it's just like a green postage stamp in the middle of nowhere. It's important that it's corn, right? When you're in it, you can't see past it. So it's very easy for him and us, the audience who are in his head, to think he's king, like he's God. He can beat his wife and kids with impunity, and he decides what happens. But then in Act 2, you find out that he is petty, like, and jealous in the small, cowardly man way of literally the dude who lives right next door. Like, the next guy over makes him just feel small about himself.
Envy.
Yeah. And when the sheriff comes, he's terrified and bumbling. And you're like, I love it. I love it when you zoom out and go like, oh, this dude ain't shit.
Sucks.
Or it's always a good when, and you know, The Wire does it twice. Cause again, when Stanfield comes and is like, what you think is going to happen, it's going to go the other way, dude.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa,
exactly.
chilling. Oh man.
Yeah, there's a reason it's not like you don't come at the king. It's that if you come at the king,
don't miss.
Not miss.
But the king can be killed.
Subtle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the king can be killed. Anyone can be killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also like that in the Stephen King way, that envy sourced at the neighbor is specifically, even though they have the same job, like they have the same, but he lives his life better and has a wife that loves him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It feels like the typical Stephen King high class versus low class. Like often that's reserved in his tales for urban versus rural. This one is just the subtlety of someone who's kind of got their shit together and someone who doesn't. And that person is still envious and looking at his things.
And it's much easier to go,
America.
Fuck that guy, than why don't I just focus on my own business and improving my life? It's fuck that guy.
Specifically,
this dude would join ICE, right? It's not my fault. My life is in shambles.
I mean, it's that
Let's
kind of
go
vibe,
inflict
right?
pain on other people. Yeah.
And that's why I really like also the prison aspect of all this stuff. You mentioned the corn.
Oh, the corn is shot to look like jail bars on him. Yeah.
The thing that I thought was specifically, and this is more probably just the story itself, I love that when confronted with the deal to sell the farm 50-50 and just divorce, like early on from Molly Parker to Tom Jane, he's like, no, I hate her. I want her to suffer even if I suffer.
I don't want it to be a mutually agreeable. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't be that I lose the game of the marriage and she's happy.
Nope.
That's not an acceptable outcome.
His pride won't let that. And then to bookend that, or at least reflect that in like later in Act 3, the ghost won't let him go. It wasn't done with me. Like he is. So if you imagine the ghost isn't real, and this is all figments of imagination, he fell down the stairs and hit his head.
He's sick from the rat bite and he fell. Yeah.
Yeah. Just the idea that he interprets that guilt in that way really is one of the best depictions of how, like often we have in our stories and our fables expanded outside of Stephen King, the idea that revenge is bad, right? Revenge is sand in your mouth. You're never going to get any sustenance.
Or drinking poison because you think it'll kill both of you or whatever metaphor.
I really think this movie is one of the best versions of this case. Here's a case for that. Just by showing how much it's an actual itch for him, showing how petty he is, and showing how he'll never get sustenance from anything because he's got this hatred and this pride. And that's like taking it away from revenge and moving it into pride and envy is really effective.
And the gender power dynamic, of course, is front and center. The idea of everyone gets one. Well, he gets all of Act 1 where he goes, you're going to do what I say because I'm the man. In fact, I don't get any deeper meaning from it being called 1922. And I'm not saying I'm better than Stephen King by any stretch.
But it's not a useful title.
I found myself wishing this was called Because I Said So.
That would be cool.
Because that's what they all get one, where he's like, I don't have to convince you. I don't have to explain. I'm the pater familias. Therefore, you will hold your mother down while I slit her throat. And then finally Henry's like, I'm 18 and that means my dick is big enough that I get to go, no, I'm running away from home.
Mhm.
And there's nothing you can do because once or it's not even that I'm 18. I've impregnated a lover. That makes me a man in 1922, right? So now I have equal status. I get to do because I said so. And then I love that the ghost, he goes, yeah, I get it. I get it. You're here to punish me. And I accept it. I regret it. It's a sin. I'm the piece of shit. I like how open he's like, I get it. I'm a Christian man.
Yeah.
You're right. It's wrong.
This wasn't worth it.
He's like, you can kill me. Yeah, kill me now. And she goes, no, this is what's going to happen because I said so. Like, no, you don't die now. That's not it.
Because I said so.
So it's all about power and powerlessness. Once someone's dead, you can't even have the power of taking it back, right? In that way, they have power. They have guilt power over you.
And I think that's
it's
super
good.
effective.
It's well done. Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I love, dude, they clearly are doing this intentional controlled work. One that really got me is as he's thinking about, let me find the exact description because I wrote it down. I don't want to misquote. Yeah. You cutting from a wife that you're basically in your head thinking, I would like to find a way to discard her. Right. And because now I have my son and my son is really what's important. And ever since then, she seems more and more discardable. Then it cuts to him in the cornfield, peeling away the husk of a piece of corn, petting the corn silk like it's a woman's hair, and then snapping it in half. So literally using every part of the corn as like, I want to discard imagery, beautiful woman's hair imagery, and decapitation imagery. It's
and remember,
so good.
this is his pride.
But really,
like the land and his son are his pride.
You could also just read it as in that moment, he feels frustrated. So he snaps the corn in half like, oh, it's just a guy throwing his hat on the ground. But if you think about it, no, it's totally also works as like a voodoo doll of her that he's killing. Like it's great imagery that works on multiple levels, including because they know their Netflix movie, including it works on the level of if you don't pay attention, it's still all fine and clear.
It's still all fine and clear. You're right about that. Same way as like generic metaphors, like the rat bite and the rot of his hand and the
is
fact
the
that
rot of his guilt. And no one, any mature adult is like, got it. Cool.
Yep. Yeah. The idea of the cow and the heifer, he has to kill her twice. It kind of represents innocence, or there's like a religious hint to it, which is one of the things that I always still just love about King, is that this, like, as you talk about at this time and in this culture, the kind of gender dynamics and like the familial dynamics that we're talking about create this kind of prison for the
marriage is a prison.
But what I love is that it's like, that's not a uniquely American problem, but the brand in which he's presenting with like the Protestant kind of lonely, you're out in the middle of nowhere, no one can tell you what to do, you can kill someone and get away with it because no one's there for miles, even your closest neighbor, is uniquely American. And he finds a way to use all parts of that beast. The fact that the tractor won't work, it's like all these images of Americana that just betray him. That's King. He's done it on every single adaptation. King loves Americana. I'm going to add the "na" because America is a more complicated. But Stephen King believes in the magic of his childhood, or that the American people are by and large good people, and also sees the rot. And that's what makes him do what he does so well. As we've discussed, my big takeaway from doing this show with you is, that's his uniqueness. He's like the only one who does like Americana in a funhouse mirror. Not since there's many imitators now, but he owned that for so long, so hard. Like the sewers, go back to our It episode, talking about the Tim Curry version, the use of waterways and sewers as visual. Like he has some cool, very Hemingway-esque, straightforward metaphors. Like in this, like we said,
there's a blood red dress that will never be finished with a jagged sawed off line right at the throat, right? Foreshadowing that that's what's going to happen to her.
Right. And he reuses imagery all the time.
Simple but
like
effective. He's like a guy hacking
fog.
away at a tree with a mighty axe, and he does his job well. Yeah.
Like Fog and Mist and Storm of the Century and
Yeah.
this all have storms in them, or just the idea of like not being able to see past.
Yeah.
That comes up a lot, and I think that has to deal with the myopism of like most of American kind of like we were pointing out with this one. Like there's some really he really brings up the same kind of things a lot, and it's very effective.
Yeah.
But you do, once you read them back to back, you do the show. Or
Everyone
whatever,
has
you realize,
this. You're like, yeah.
oh,
Well,
writers
and-
kind of have the same tricks.
I think we're almost blessed that ours aren't apparent. Like if we led the dream life that we wanted, meaning ever since we were 25, we've been making a movie every 2 years. That's whatever we want. By now, we would have started repeating ourselves. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
It's only
Yeah.
by virtue of the fact that he got to / has to write 1,000 books that it's like, you've started repeating yourself a bit. And it's like, yeah, well, I invented everything. So fuck off. A few people get to say that. He's one of them. I'm pretty done with it, but I did want to say I liked how thorough he is also with unpacking the bullshit. Just the last example I wanted to bring up being that one of his last fatherly pieces of advice to him is like, and you listen to that, Shannon, like a man needs a woman to guide him. Because that's some bullshit wisdom that he was taught, but it's like, dude, you murdered your wife because she disagreed with you.
Mhm.
You don't like believe in that, or you're just things that are just performative, things that are just lip service, things that we just pass on without thinking, because that's what my daddy told me. So I say
My
it.
daddy done told.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one last thing, just because I want to make a appeal for, as we're approaching the stand where we kind of place it on our pantheon, or King's Pantheon, our lists. I'm probably you're gonna think I has this higher than you'd expect. There's some small maneuvers that we didn't really point out. The one that I was like, fuck, that rips, is at one point in the winter, the door is being pushed open and closed by the wind,
Mhm.
and he's just, basically on his deathbed, looking at it and watching it, and fucking probably sepsis going through his brain or whatever. And
Probably imagining rats pushing it, even though it's just the wind or whatever.
right.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's a generic like metaphor of like, the storm's calling or whatever. But like just the effect of the door going rapidly and sometimes having the visibility of just like the snow in the background. And sometimes Molly Parker's just there in her, disfigured face. And then she's gone. Like really good ghost stuff. Like it's not like it's a jump scare. It's like a constant needling that is sometimes there and not there. I love that stuff. I think that this does not do the jump scare horror. And to me, when I look around at the horror genre, it's a drink of nectar, baby.
This is not even a horror movie. I think it's a thriller, or like it's more of a Greek tragedy, or I guess it is horror because it's
I
like
call it psychological
the horror in that sense. But you're just making me reflect on, never once was I scared. No. Nor within minutes was I expecting this movie to even try for that. Like Dolores Claiborne's not trying to be like a campfire story. And this feels similarly where it's like, the horror that's inside us all, as he says. Okay, well, since it will set up for the stand, I think based on how positive I've been, it will be lower on my list than you're expecting. So I'm going to rattle off reasons why. I was going to put that in the stand segment, but let's just wrap it up with it, and then we'll just make the stand simple. So ultimately, the reason this movie, despite everything we just said, isn't much higher on my list is that it's boring to me. And
fair enough.
And it's like, as I said, someone hitting a bunch of dingers like a professional who is a studio musician whose job is to hit dingers, but not in any spectacular fashion and not to like rock the boat. It reminds me of a long conversation I had with Katie Willert. At the time, their favorite band was Spoon. And this is the Spoon of movies like this to me, which a lot of Netflix is, meaning like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with Spoon. there's also nothing about them. Like they just go, "Gah, gah, guitar. Now I sing a song like this. Bah, bah, guitar. This is rock. It's a pop song." And this is how I sort of feel ultimately about 1922. There's also things that just tilt me wrong. Like, and this is from King because his characters do this a lot. Right, just in time for the son to be grappling with, should I kill my mom? Should I not kill my mom? She starts acting like an over the top, I'll just say it, drunken hua, and being like, I'm the worst mom ever. Hey, son, you should join the devil and whip your dick out. Oh, what's wrong? Your little pecker's scared of your mom. And it's like, she hasn't been acting like that this whole time. What is this side of her? It's obviously just to work the son up to a believable point of killing his mom. I feel like the sequence where he is building up, literally getting your child to go from, it's unthinkable that I would murder anyone, let alone my own mother, to, okay, let's kill mom, is so juicy that I see the missed potential, meaning there's nothing wrong with it, but like in the hands of Hitchcock, or even I feel like Villeneuve, thinking of Prisoners, that sequence would have had me on the edge of my seat. And in 1922, it just has me meditating on how sad it is that he's going to kill his mom. But I'm never like, my heart is frozen in my chest. And I feel like I could do maneuvers that would make it feel that way or pull that more to the surface. And so there's just a lot of stuff where I wrote, meh, boring. Or like, again, the clarity is too clear. The color grading is just like, what if it was clear and looked good and clear? And the dialogue is like, what do you propose we do with the money you're getting? We could move to a big city. Cities are for fools. I agree with Pa. Like, I understand that it's supported because these characters wouldn't use subtext, but I can feel the Netflix executive going, this is good. It's good how clear this is. And I don't like stuff like that. And then last but not least, my ultimate problem with the actual plot itself that I lay at King's feet and I just disagree with, which is why I like more, I guess, bleaker shit better, is at the end of the day, the resonant line is we all get caught. And the resonant concept is that even in this toxic society, totally set up in his favor, God or karma, don't worry, hell is real. This guy will get his comeuppance. And I actually think the horror of life is that no, he won't. Look around you. He'll become president of the United States and rape kids on an island.
Yeah, you've
That's
over
the
time.
horror.
I remember
there
when
isn't
we first...
karma. That's what's actually scary.
Right.
No, we don't get caught. This dude in 1922 would have gotten away with this and lived on the farm happily and get subsidies from the government and shit.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
He would not
because,
confess and he would not regret.
Used to be a little bit more about poetic justice.
Yeah.
Of the world. Now it's like, since the world
now I'm like, it's
has really
fake.
pointed out,
There is no
it's fake.
justice.
Stories shouldn't have that.
So you shouldn't reflect that. And it feels boomery. It's like, oh, you have hope. How naive,
How
Stephen
quaint.
King. Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, all valid points. I think you're wrong about that.
I am wrong. But the other resonant lines I really agree with, meaning she says life is rarely fair, especially here and now. Like, that's really resonant and true. He says, I believe there's another man inside you, a stranger. Anyone's capable of any evil. Totally true. But then when he says, which he says 3 times in the script, but in the end, we all get caught. I'm like, no, we don't, though. No, we don't. That's where I really do split with King. The end.
Great.
Well,
shall we order?
Yeah.
Which is The Stand.
Bigaba. Yeah, so I'll go first. Keep it real quick. I was going to cram all my digs into The Stand to explain why, in the end, I'm of 2 minds about this film. Big mad props to all involved, but it's somewhere in the middle because I'm such a junkie for just like
didn't do it for you. That's all.
Right. You play a video game and you go, but I didn't have fun. What a shame. So I can't.
No, I think they're all
high.
valid reasons, especially the Netflix ones. It could have been a lot more experimental.
It could have been more challenging, but that wasn't the assignment, and everyone involved nailed the assignment. So for that reason, I am going to read the following chunk where did it even is it? Yeah. The following chunk, starting at 25 and going up. 25, Christine. 24, Apt Pupil. 23, Dark Tower, getting lower. That's good. 22, Pet Cemetery 2019. 21, 19, 22. And for reference, that puts it right under my animals run, which would go Cat's Eye, Cujo, Monkey. Because even though 1922, I would say on paper is better made than Cat's Eye. Cat's Eye had character and spirit and life and like felt engaging to me. And that's huge for me. Just having wabi sabi.
Right on. I guess also in the interest of quickness, I'm just going to do something we've never done. I'm just going to call the shot and then describe everything around it and why I ordered it that way.
I'd be down with killing this segment ultimately soon.
Me too, brother. It's getting real tired. The sun's getting real low. So I put 1922 at 10, which seems really high. Obviously, we've talked about how there's like just this elite showcase of like 6 to 7. And then it starts to fall off. I want to say what's right around it, like where I put it beneath Carrie, but above Gerald's Game. I put it beneath 2017's It, like it's not as good, but it's better than Cujo. So like to me, the reason is because it's a small condensed story. The adaptation, this is the one that really sings it for me, is that we always want to try to talk about the story itself. And I may be a little bit misled because this is the first time I interacted with the story and the first time I even heard of it. I did not know what to expect walking into this film. So that's always a breath of fresh air. But
you were like, what year will it even be set in?
I was like,
I
this
wonder.
is like a new Stephen King to me. And that excites me. But like, to me, it's truly the absolute formal suggestion of the directors and the fact that it's a $5 million script and that they nailed. That's such an extremely hard thing to do. They knew exactly how to adapt this. When I look at adaptation, I'm like, are you suited for the thing? Or are you just making a cash grab? Or are you just Running Man 2025 or whatever? No, this is exactly like, this should not have a bigger budget. This should not have a smaller budget. This should be like, the director's really good. He's going to be on my list now because I was just like, some of the maneuvers, you're right, are like middle of the road. But for a Netflix thing, there's a striking amount of experimentation in this film because I think Netflix does that thing where they're like, if it's under $5 million, we don't really care as long as they follow these basic rules. But that's where I have it. Like Dolores Claiborne, which is almost the same story, but gender swapped, basically, is my number 7.
I'm sorry. He proactively, out of spite, decides to kill his wife. Slightly different than he molested our kid and it's in reprisal. Yeah. But other than that, the math, like all the chess moves are the same.
Just the plot. Yeah. Like other than
even
like
the well, even down to
even the well and
well.
stuff like that. Yeah. Exactly. And I would argue that Dolores Claiborne is even more supernatural than this film is. Even though we're seeing literally ghosts, it's just the one maneuver. There's like serendipitous, like God came down and touched this moment in Dolores Claiborne that I'm like,
and that ties it to Green Mile or some others King. There's like a thing where two characters saw each other through a lens, but I forgot the lore already.
I typically don't like the magic aspect, which is one of the only reasons that The Shining is above Shawshank Redemption.
I do feel that it's interesting because then you say like it is better than Gerald's Game in terms of math, like it's tighter. But Gerald's Game has the degloving scene that actually made my heart pump fast. And that just is interesting how that alone one moment can. Anyway, let's get out of here.
Who's to know what makes us feel anything, Michael?
Michael Jackson's Ghosts.
I love it. Number 1, baby.